You're tuned in with Rodney High. Well, not Rod. Fats. Flats. And Hash.
From policy halls to terpene calls, stay lit, stay wise. This is the Rodney Hash podcast.
Let's try this again. Take 4! Alright. Welcome to the Rodney Hash podcast. Today I'm sitting here with Epifanio Peterson. Hopefully this will be the final take. Because things keep happening. But I think this is going to be a story you guys are going to be very excited to hear. Epifanio here, or as I call him, Epipen.
No.
As I wouldn't expect anyone else to. But
please don't.
Thanks, Nikolai.
And I can't even beat him up too. That's the worst part. Is he calls me that and still kicks my ass.
That's the best part about jiu-jitsu is there's this hierarchy of like, yeah, we can talk. I mean, like we can talk shit to Nikolai too, but we also know that we're gonna pay for that shit that we talk to Nikolai later.
See, like I do pay for it. But I train in a gym called Academy 440 here in Cleveland, Ohio. I was born and raised here. My name is Epifanio Peterson. I know, very Italian first name, basic white bitch last name.
You said it, not me.
Everyone thinks it. I get it all the time. But
I still like Epipen.
I don't. I started training in like 3 years ago, around there.
Almost something like that. So it was like right as COVID was starting to die down.
Yeah, I would say it's like late 21 is like when I started kind of really getting interested in it and wanting to do it. And then like early 22, I made it my life. I don't do anything else anymore.
I mean, you do other things, but that's
this is like the primary focus in my life right now. I'm making a run at trials in November.
And what he means by that is ADCC trials, not Olympic trials or...
Oh, no, I would get destroyed. That would be terrifying. No, it's Audi Dubai Combat Club. It's ADCCs. It's a big jiu-jitsu competition in, like, the jiu-jitsu community. A lot of wrestlers know it, too. And, like, it is known in the MMA world, but, like, to the outside world, it's not really that well known.
However, CJI
is on the come up, and that UFC BJJ league.
Did you hear what CJI is doing for like last year? His Craig Jones celebrity match was him versus
Gabby Garcia.
Which
kissed her at the weigh-ins.
It was. He's like this. Craig Jones is the level of troll that like 50 Cent is with the P Diddy stuff. Like it's great.
Like imagine Kendrick and Drake. But like 50 times worse, but Craig Jones and Gordon Ryan.
That was a big one.
That like, now it's
him
still there.
It's him and Mo now.
Yeah.
From ADCC, which I don't even think he's part of ADCC anymore.
He's not. But part of him trolling Mo is him trolling Gordon. Like he's still going after Gordon.
What do you mean? I didn't know that.
And Gordon responds. It's the funniest thing.
Is it because he's on...
Gordon Ryan has an ADCC contract, and like he's making fun of the UFC Jiu-Jitsu league and like all that stuff with the way it is and stuff.
Bro, Craig Jones post that he did the other day where he was talking about how like he wishes the finals well, but then he like blew up a blow-up doll of Dana White with a RPG. Like, dude, that stuff was epic. I love it.
Craig Jones is
He's top level troll.
I just want to meet the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know if, like, this is a character or if this is just who he is.
I think that's just who he is. I mean...
If it is...
Let's be real.
Let's be honest. Fantastic guard game and leg game from Craig Jones. I love his leg game, personally. And, like...
You can't tell me that the group chat for 440 doesn't remind you of the group chat that you would imagine would be going on at the B team. Let's be honest. Maybe a little bit more pulled in and tamed.
What stays in the group, what gets put in the group chat stays in the group chat. But there's a lot of bullying and a lot of trolling in our group chat.
But it's fun. It's playing with each
I
other.
love it. I got added.
No one's offended by it.
Do you remember when we went to Dusty Schaefer fight in Canton?
Yes, sir.
In December.
When he won that one?
Yeah, the one against what's his name?
Which he'll be on
Anthony
too at some point.
Castiolos, that guy.
Yeah, dude, that was a great fight.
That was.
That
And
was
it
a
got
very
crazy
hyped-
in the locker room too. Do you remember that? When we walked back to try to do jump in, there was like
That was after the fact. And but that wasn't even him. That was someone from like his crew.
It was
a
wild. Didn't
thing.
Alonzo fought that day too? Because I met him.
Alonzo
that day.
won that day too. Yeah. Alonzo was the main event.
Yeah, he was.
Alonzo's a beast.
But I got added to it that night. We were at the thing. And I remember I was in it for fucking 5 seconds. And Nikolai made a mom joke a bigger mom joke. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. I get bullied a lot in there. A lot. But Rodney knows.
It's all in good.
Ever since I started jiu-jitsu.
Actually, like, let's roll it back a second. Yes, you do get bullied. But even Nikolai, like, that day, he apologized to you because he's like, yo, man, just in case, like, I don't want to take it too far. Like, I love you, bro. Like, it's all just in play. And that's why you're able to do that stuff and have that level of play.
Exactly.
Because we all know that it's, like...
It's fun.
If we say, like, I fucked your mom, bro, like, no one really thinks that you... Like, we are 100% just being dudes. Bros.
No. That would be crazy, first of all. But two, no. But also, like, I bring it upon myself a lot of the time. Like, because Rodney knows, ever since he's been rolling with me since the beginning, I have a mouth. And it's not, like, a mean, like, I'm not a douchebag, or, like, I'm not, like, aggressive with it, but, like, I like to have fun, and I have really bad ADHD, and so I'll just whisper things in the middle of rolling. Like, if someone, for instance, recently, if someone can't get past my guard, I'm like, oh, what's wrong? What happened? Like, I did that to a white belt at our school, Austin. This kid's like 18. Alright, he's been training consistently for probably 4 months now, maybe 6 months, honestly. He's been there a while, I know that. But like, Austin, I love Austin. He's getting better. And so, a lot of the times, like, when I'm rolling with, like, Nikolai or stuff, like, I'm going, like, 70%. With him, I normally go, like, 30, 40 when I'm working with Nikolai. Most of the time, I honestly, like, he doesn't know what to do from certain positions, so I'll have him put me in that position, and I'll just let him work. Like, I'll literally just sit there and, like,
let's be a good drill partner.
Like, yeah, because, like, I don't know, like, I care about his success, and, like, I remember when I was that white belt, and, like, I'm not a high rank, I'm only a fucking blue belt, but, like, I'm like, I know where I'm leagues better because I had JP. You remember JP? Like, I had JP. There was this dude, JP.
Yeah, I remember when you first started versus where you're at now, and it's genuinely impressive.
Like, it's like I owe it to the training partners. Like, JP, for instance, JP is one of my best friends. We don't talk nearly as much as we used to, but I think we're both in different spots in our lives, and
different gyms. Too.
Yeah, different gyms and just everything. It's very hard. But, like, if like, he ever needs me, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I love JP. JP will always hold a special place in my heart. And so, like, but when I first started, he kind of took me underneath his wing because he was, like, a 2-stripe white belt, 3-stripe white belt at the time. And so, like, he didn't know a lot, and he was still new, but, like, he trained at a different gym in New York. And so he was... Like, he knew, like, a lot more stuff than, like, the average person did, just from the level of gym that he was at in New York. And so, like, he would take me aside, and, like, he started showing me front rolls and everything on my, like, first day. And so, it became really apparent to me and very easy to me of, like, I picked it up a little bit quicker when I first started. I mean, I got my blue belt within a year. I've had my blue belt since April of 2023.
Yeah.
So, it's, like... it's different having a person like that, and so it's like, I don't know everything, like, I really don't even know that much. I'm still, like, very, like, beginner-esque, because I'm not, like, a beginner, but, like, beginner-esque.
So, you say that, but you're definitely competing, you just won a super fight Let's talk. So
okay.
So hold up. Before we even talk about your super fight, let's talk about your childhood. Let's talk about, bro. You were a Make-A-Wish kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? Why were you a Make-A-Wish kid? How did that happen? Like, what's going on there? So
when I was 2 years old, I was diagnosed by a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, essentially saying I have hydrocephalus, which, for anybody that doesn't know, is CSF fluid, water on the brain. So they shunted me, and I have a little shunt like right here. I have scars all over my head, all over my body, whatever. And I was shunted when I was 2 years old, and so I've had that ever since.
What is a shunt?
So essentially the shunt is, there's a device in my head right here, and then all the way down, leading down this way, is a catheter. And what that's doing is it's draining the CSF fluid that's in my head and putting it into an empty pocket in my stomach.
So what is this? You're talking about like
the spinal fluid.
The extra fluid that was around your brain.
Yeah, like the excess water that they said I had, it's draining that. So it's draining CSF fluid into an empty pocket in my stomach. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Is Christmas Eve when I was like 8, I think. Yeah, I think it was 8. So like maybe 7. I think it lasted for like 5 years. So I think I was like 7.
So how old were you when they put the shunt in?
2.
You were 2 when they put the shunt in.
Freshly turned 2. I'm pretty sure. I was like just turned 2.
So
just turned 3.
What was going on with you? That like signs and like were you like?
So, like, from your wall right there to, like, the edge of this table, I would fall down in the middle. And there was other factors, like, my optic nerves are crazy. Every time a new eye doctor walks in and sees my optic nerves, they run out of the room and consult another doctor. That's why I need to see the same doctor.
That's wild.
That's terrifying. I've always had 20/20 vision. Like, my vision has never been affected. And, my mom even says, like, my mom's on evidence saying this multiple times, is like, I didn't complain of not being able to see. I didn't complain of like nausea. I didn't complain of headaches. Like, I didn't complain about any of that stuff before I was shunted. So like, there was other factors, like, I'm sure my optic nerves played a huge factor in it as well. And like, I'm sure there's other factors that if like, I really sat down or like really dug through my medical history, I could find out.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so extensive, it's not even worth it.
Yeah. But so, 2, you got the shunt at 2.
Yeah.
And then at 8?
It was, like, 8. Like, around, I don't know the exact age, but it was, like, probably 7 or 8. Maybe. I think it was 8. That started a train wreck in my whole life.
Okay.
It broke on Christmas.
But it did lead to John Cena, right?
It does lead to John Cena.
So this is going to be a sad story, guys, but
with a twist.
But there's a John Cena at the end. So we'll get there.
So
don't cry yet.
So when I was 8 on Christmas Eve, all the kids were at the table, and my mom handed out candy to all of the kids. She gave me coal, and also my cousin Emma hit me in the head, and she has felt bad. I will say, like, I'll get to it, but she has felt bad about this to this day. So later that night on Christmas Eve, 8-year-old boy. Why did she get you coal? It was just to mess with me. Like, okay. My mom. Yeah,
she wasn't being like a douche. She was
just
like, hey Brian.
Yeah, like she was like, hey Eb. She's like, hey Eb, here, like, you can get coal, and it's like, okay, whatever. But later that night, my shunt broke. They sent me home twice, saying I was perfectly fine, all the tests were coming back fine, nothing was wrong. And then I think it was either that night or sometime during Christmas.
So wait a minute. So you got hit in the head by your
and then my cousin hit me but it was like this.
Yeah.
And then my mom gave me coal. And then later this night, my shunt breaks. So you can imagine.
So when the shunt breaks, what, like how do you know that broke?
So, for instance, we're in a lit room right now and whatnot. I wouldn't be able to, like, my eyes would be shut. I wouldn't be able to speak like I am right now. I wouldn't be able to, like...
So you go, like, non-verbal, non-functional.
It's not necessarily that. Like, a normal headache for me, like, a level 3 is probably, like, a level 7 for, like, a normal... Like, for, like, you, for instance. That's the way I put it. So, like, when I'm in shunt failure, is what happens when my shunt breaks. I cannot be in lit rooms. Everything needs to be off. I can't do sound. My headache is at like an 11, 12. I'm throwing up bile, not even throwing up food, just throwing up straight water. And I can't stand up because I would get low pressure headaches.
That sounds pleasant.
Yeah, totally. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Like,
This is how the group chat probably sounds, by the way. Just throwing that out.
but like, I would be laying down right now. Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to stand up. Literally, like, I wouldn't even be able to sit like this. Like,
And you were 8 years old.
yeah, this is when it started. Yeah, I was 8. They sent me. What's going?
This is just the beginning.
Oh yeah, this is an extensive trail. Like
So-
it's like a Stephen King novel in here.
So the shunt breaks, you go to the hospital that night?
Yeah. So my mom took me to the hospital the minute she saw symptoms because my mom was like, my mom was really good at like I got into her. I spent the night at a friend's house one time. And I wasn't even in her car yet. She was like, "How bad's your head?" I said, "You witch." That's crazy.
She's a really good mom.
She is.
Shout out to Epifanio's mom.
Like, I love my mom. She's in Colorado right now for a Trumpedella concert.
She is. She's living. She lives life to the max.
I love
She
my mom.
always
My
has.
mom's amazing. But so she took me there, obviously, to the hospital. They sent me back once, saying I was fine. She took me back again, and I think they sent me home again. And then she brought me back finally, like a day later or so. I think it was either, I don't know if it was that night or a day later. I'll have to ask her. We talked a little bit about it, but not really. I don't really remember any of it, to be honest. It all was like whatever.
I get it. You're only 8 too. On top
Yeah.
Of it all, so.
So like, and then, but one of those times she came back, she like yelled. She didn't yell, but she was like, she finally convinced them to open me up. She said, "This is not my son." She said, "Something is wrong." And so she finally convinced my neurosurgeon, Dr. Racinos, at the time. I wonder if this was Gaylord. No, I think this was Racinos. Opened me up at the time. And it was completely shattered in my brain, in my skull. It was shattered. It was in pieces.
It's just a plate.
I don't know what it looks like, to be honest. But it was shattered, from what my mom told me.
That's not good.
So they replaced the device, replaced the catheter.
So they opened up your brain to do this again.
This is the... Yes,
So
this
it
is
your
my second...
skull
This
or
would be my
brain?
second brain surgery.
At 8 years old.
Yes. And then it broke again... Because I was okay for like a year, I think. I think it broke in 2011. I think I had surgery like 2 days after 9/11. In 2011. Just a fun fact.
Make it a little bit more sad. Let's bring up 9/11. It's fine. Look at him smiling. He's...
But I think it lasted like a year, maybe 2. It was like in 2011 or 2012 it broke again. And then this is where like I don't really know the years, because it's like it all like for me like it all blends together. Like I remember key moments of like times I had in the hospital, but I can't tell you when that was. So to kind of shorten up the story a little bit, I had a surgery from that point on in like 2011 all the way up until 2021 essentially. Nah, maybe 2019. No, maybe like 2019, 2020. Like 2020-ish. I had a surgery every single year. Sometimes 7. I think one year I had like 9 surgeries in the same year.
And these are all like spinal, brain.
Well, I had 25 brain surgeries and 27 brain surgeries, 7 spine surgeries, and an eye surgery by the time I was 18.
You can't remember the exact number of brain surgeries?
No,
it sounds like you had like over 25 brain surgeries.
My mom and me have like sat there before and like tried to count them like all, and that's the number we've gotten to is 27 brain surgeries, 7 spine surgeries, and an eye surgery. So that's the number I tell. And an eye surgery, yeah. She decompression when I was 2, I think, or 8.
So they've gone in through. So I seen the other day when we were finished rolling, you had a cut here on your side, you have a cut on the back of your side, and then a cut like by your belly button.
So the belly button was a part of the initial surgery. That's how they got the catheter in.
That's for the first shunt when you were like 2?
Yeah, that scar is like my oldest scar.
Wow.
That one's like that, like the...
Science
You see it when I have like no hair. I have like a crescent moon right there.
Yeah. I felt it the other day on accident. It was weird.
That and like the one on my belly button are like my oldest scars. Like those are from like my first. But so so I had 27 brain surgery, 7 spine surgery. So at the time, after
27 brain plus 7 spine.
Yeah.
So you had, what is that? 42, something stupid like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So 27. 7.
If you want to add the eye surgery too, like, you can do that. Like, it's like 44, 45. If you're doing the number, and if you're counting.
And this is all before how old?
I was 19 before. This all happened before I was like 18.
When was your last surgery?
January 21st, 2021.
And how old were you?
18, I think.
So you had all those surgeries from 2 years old to like 18 or 19.
Yeah, and there was little breaks. So like.
Well, yeah, little breaks in between my 47 surgeries, 40 whatever.
So like from 2 to 8, there was like 6 years, 5 years where it was cool. Then like in high school. So
also,
like
just to put into perspective, now all of these surgeries, like, I feel like you're like way downplaying it, bro. Like as crazy.
I always downplay it.
So like these surgeries aren't just like normal surgeries. Mm-mm. These are like you have like a higher like death rate than a higher survival rate.
It was, if I remember correctly, I looked up the statistic and it was like, I think it was like 50-50 or like 40-60 the other way.
Yeah, so like 60% chance of dying, having a medical mistake and not making it through to the end.
Yeah. I never really got an accurate number. I did that a little bit in high school, and I never really I don't care. I've never.
Well, I mean, at that point in high school, you were still kind of going through it, so I don't think I'd really want to.
Like my freshman year of high school is the only year of high school I've completed while being in school. My last 3 years of high school, I was on one-on-one tutoring. I was having so many surgeries that they were like, "We're just gonna give you a tutor. You don't even worry about coming to school." Like that's what my IEP was. But like I don't know.
Is that why you had pink hair when you first came to jiu-jitsu?
We don't talk about that. We don't.
I still have a picture of it. If
I unfortunately have pictures of it too, but we don't need to talk about that.
I love it.
But
he went from the pink-haired kid to he didn't have any of these tattoos.
Oh no, this is all from September of 2023, 2022.
He found a new addiction, guys. He found Christ and he found ink.
I love both. But I like high school. Like I don't know. Like I do downplay it. It's because it's nothing to me. Because
when you're going through traumatic events,
well, of course,
you don't really. To you, it's normal. This is just life.
Well, I've psychoanalyzed myself since then plenty. Because I don't know. Going through all of that, the depression kind of hits, and whatever. But
it's normal.
That's
also why we have things like cannabis.
That is true.
Does help.
I started smoking a lot at 14.
And I don't generally advocate child use, but specifically when there's something like a brain injury going on. Yeah, there's the exceptions.
And
but I was also smoking when I was 16, but that was also because at that point in time I didn't realize that I had PTSD. I had like yourself lived through a whole bunch of trauma in a different type of way.
But it's still trauma, and it still sucks.
And you don't really realize it when you're in the moment. When you're in the moment, it just feels like a normal situation.
Exactly.
It's just life.
And I think I downplay it honestly because I still did stuff
Try. You still live life.
I
but
still
that's because of your mom.
My mom still put me I did ATA karate. I'm not a big advocate on ATA karate because it exactly
I did it too.
It was very expensive and it taught me respect, discipline.
But most of it's katas, and for those of you who don't know what a kata is, there's no contact. It's literally just I'm going through the motions, and they're most often, depending on where you're at, the instructor doesn't actually know how to apply the things.
Yes, but
there
also
are some good ones.
I will say the one I went to, man, John Dot, the homie did not care. We were hands-on sparring. I came third in a karate tournament.
That's good.
I knocked this 16-year-old's tooth out at 10. I front kicked him. And dude, he was tall. Like, he was, like, up here, and I was, like, down here, and it went, bing! And I got him. I remember that, because they all pulled us out while they, like, him and the trainer were the only ones on the mats. But, like, it taught me respect, it taught me discipline, it kind of, like, taught me it taught me values. It did not teach me...
It gave you some really, really good role models.
Yes, and, like, that's where I met one of my best friends now, actually. His dad hit on my mom. After we did ATA karate together. And Keith, rest his soul, I love Keith. My mom loved Keith, too. Great dude. He knocks on my mom's window after ATA karate. And he's like, he said something to her. I don't remember what he said, but he was like, here's my card. And it worked. Like, they became best friends after that. And it was like...
Yeah, but is that what... I don't know if that's...
What?
If he's hitting on your mom and gave her a card, I don't know if that works so well for...
Well, they dated.
Okay,
no,
so they
no,
dated.
they
So
were like on and off. Like,
okay,
there was...
guys, so there is a use for business cards. I didn't know. I hate on business cards. I'll have them, but like... It's because it's with the link tree and the
business cards are what's up. But like, especially back then though, like that was
back then it was different though.
Yeah, like that was
we
like
didn't have
early
social media or
like,
all the other things. We had here's my phone number.
But like Keith did a lot for me and my mother. But it turned into like they had their own reasons for not dating or whatever, like staying on and off or whatever.
I get it.
But he introduced because he has a son, Tyler, and Tyler is.
Is that the one that your roommates with?
That's who I live with.
Okay.
And Tyler is
also a really good kid.
He is a great kid, but he's also like he's the brother that I feel like I should have grown up with. Like we are so close. Like I love him. So it's like that came from that, and so like he did a lot for us then. Mm-hmm. I forgot where I was going with this, to be honest with you.
You're talking about how great a dude Keith is and how it did work out for him just because of the fact that he wasn't like at the end of the day like
no, but he like
happy,
it turned into
love around.
It turned into such a key relationship in both me and my mother's life, like especially at that time, like when I was in the hospital, there was a lot he did for my mother and like helped her out and stuff like that, and like it was like I miss him, we all miss him.
I completely get that.
Not as much as Tyler though. It breaks my heart to see him still to this day miss his dad.
Yeah,
and
my
like
parents not easy.
It's
one of the hardest things I could imagine. I haven't lost one yet, thank God. But my grandparents raised me for the most part. So your Keith was kind of like my grandpa was Chuck. I kid you not, my grandfather or my grandma's ex-boyfriend that we ended up living with for most of my life. Literally, I was there living with them when he died from cancer. But his name was Chuck Norris, Charles Norris.
Actually,
his legal given name was Charles W. Norris. Technically, Charles W. Norris Sr.
But like,
and his name. He was older than Chuck Norris.
So technically Chuck Norris was named after him.
Yeah. Talk about being a badass grandpa, dude. That dude gave me my first job. Like, the first time I ever worked in a machine shop was I was cleaning up the scraps out of the chips out of the CNC machines because he ran a CNC shop.
Is the shop still around?
No, he sold it to his son, and then his son ran it. What took him like 3 years to build up, his son burned down in 3 months. It was kind of sad. R.I.P. to both of them, though. Unfortunately, it's
that's depressing.
World is a crazy part. This is a really depressing podcast, but we're over here smiling and loving.
All right, let's get to John Cena.
So John Cena. So how did you? What happened? Okay. So again, we're going to you downplaying it. Like you became a Make-A-Wish kid. Why did you become a Make-A-Wish kid? How did that part?
So basically, I think I've joked about this in the past, but I think that they genuinely thought I was gonna die.
Because again, you had how many surgeries
or it was a pity wish. because they were like, he's not dying, but like,
No, but you were
he's
going
basically
in for,
Frankenstein.
You've had how many surgeries that have like a low risk of survival?
Yeah,
And then
like,
you're going in for more of them. Like, how old were you when you had that?
when I got the initial wish, I think it was like 10.
Okay.
11, maybe. I think it was 10.
So this is when you went to go meet John Cena.
Yes, because I made it 2 years. So I made it 2 years before I got my actual wish, because I wished for a specific thing. So I was like, I think I was 10 when I made the wish, and I didn't get it until I was 9 when I made the wish. 9 or 10.
What was your wish?
To go to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Florida.
That is very specific.
It was, yes. Like, I wanted that specific WrestleMania.
It's like, no, this WrestleMania, like a year and a half, has to be the WrestleMania.
And
not this year's WrestleMania. Next year's WrestleMania.
And I'm glad because the Hardys returned at that WrestleMania. And that was sick.
That would be really sick.
But I got to go to Orlando, Florida. I made it like 2 years in advance. And then what's funny is when they called my mom, it was like, hey, it's time for you to get your wish. She was like, you just got a surgery Tuesday. I had spine surgery. Like, I got a spine surgery.
And that's why you got the wish Epipen.
It was like I think it was like 4 days, maybe a week before.
Because you were supposed to die at that surgery too. And that was when you were 10.
That was a spine surgery.
Alright, and what was the likelihood of survival on that?
I have no idea. I only looked up the brain because at the time when I looked it up, I was only having brain. We kind of sprinkled in spine a little bit.
Yeah, but still.
But so I had spine surgery like a week before, like a week or it was like I think it was like 4 days actually before I left for my Make-A-Wish. They were like, you leave Tuesday, and I think this was like Thursday or something like that, and I just had spine surgery, and my mom was like, okay. So I have this like surgery. I hated it. I despised this surgical glue because it was like glued to my skin, and it was so like it peeled hard when it came off, and it like ripped my skin. It sucked.
It was like a really bad Band-Aid.
Yeah, but worse. Like, imagine you put a bunch of Gorilla Glue on your skin and then peeled it off. But like, it didn't like stick that badly. But,
I mean,
like,
that is what it is.
But like, it hurt. Like, it hurt a lot to take off. I was like, this sucks. But I had this surgical glue, like...
Spray yourself with some glue gun.
Yeah, like, literally, though. Like, I was like, bro, I'm not Home Depot. Like, what are we doing here? Home Depot. But I had this, like, surgical glue, like I have a scar right here on my... And then, like, in the middle of my spine. And I had surgical glue. And I remember... So we get to Orlando, we fly, we go down there. That's when I learned I love flying. Like,
You love flying?
Dude, I'm
terrified of heights.
I'm terrified of heights too, but I love flying. And I'm slowly getting over my fear of heights. Like, I went ziplining with my dad and my mom. Sorry, this is off topic.
No, that's the podcast. That's the point.
But I went ziplining for Father's Day with my dad and my sister. And we're all scared of heights. We all do not like heights, but my dad suggested it. So we do that.
Good idea.
But like it was kind of fun. Like, I kind of want to like do more with like zip lines and like maybe skydive one day.
I feel like it's healthy to try and face your fears in a lot of ways.
And like, I don't know, like,
it's easier said than done.
It's
but
fun.
I feel like it is really healthy.
The adrenaline rush sometimes is fun. Like, I think it's just leading up to the fact that you're like,
I mean, I feel like the anticipation of pain is worse than the actual pain itself more often.
100%.
So that's...
But alright, but Orlando, yes.
Yeah, so WrestleMania, back to John Cena!
But, so, I go to Orlando, and all I wanted to do was go to WrestleMania. I was not expecting anything else that I got. So, basically in Orlando, they have a village called Make a Kid the World Village. And it's a bunch of villas. There's like a movie theater in there, an ice cream parlor, some other stuff, and like there's a pool and stuff. And it's only Make-A-Wish kids in this and their families in this thing. I like to joke around that I've never seen so many disabled people in one area.
I mean... Man, disabled people love John Cena. Let's be real.
Oh.
There's a reason Shane Gillis has.
But
that
like
joke.
that's the thing though, is they
That's
weren't
bad.
all there for just WrestleMania. Like they were all there for different stuff. It was
So
actually
wait a minute.
really cool. It was this big ass town.
But it was at WrestleMania.
No, it
Or
was in Orlando, where WrestleMania
Okay.
took place. And so it's just they're all there for a different reason. But like it's at
That's
looking
cool,
back on it
actually.
from a mature jokes aside, like it was really cool. But
Okay.
jokes included, it's kind of funny to think about. Because I don't look like a
that is
Make-A-Wish
really
kid,
good.
and I didn't look like a Make-A-Wish kid back then either.
I mean, it's good that they do that stuff, though. Let's be real. Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of foundations that, like, I've been very disheartened to donate to things. I went, like, when I donated my hair, the first time I didn't really look too much into it. After that, I got real, like, I went down a rabbit hole and I found out how many of these companies just don't do
Oh yeah, they don't do
ethical
it.
things
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, no.
And that's a lot of companies in general.
No, Make-A-Wish is goated because like, and not all of Make-A-Wish kids die. Like, I think that's like a big misconstrued thing.
But you almost did.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really realistically know. Like, to be.
How many of those brain surgeries were there?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
How many
Listen,
of them were just brain surgeries?
I'm like John Jones of surgeries, though.
How many just brain surgeries were there?
26 or 27.
Just brain surgery.
Just brain surgeries, and then 7 spine
Which
surgeries.
have it, like, give or take, like 50-50.
Probably, maybe 60-40 deals. Maybe like 60-40.
So you don't think that you beat the odds at all?
I mean, probably.
You don't
For-
think
listen,
that, like, 60-40 is, like, stacked against
Dog,
you?
I'm
Maybe
like-
it's, like, a little bit,
I'm like 2016 Warriors, alright? Like, I'm undefeated in this hell. Like,
And this is why, as a grappler, he doesn't give up.
like, but it's a really cool event. I loved it. It was awesome. I met another kid there who was really cool, and me and him really became friends. At least at the time. We don't really keep in touch now, but like I follow his brother on social media, so whatever.
It's life. Actually, there's one thing that's cool about social media is that we do have the opportunity
Yeah,
to follow
exactly.
each other a little bit. Speaking of, if you like this content, leave a like, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff, bells and whistles. I did the thing, so go ahead.
Well, essentially what they gave me as well, like gifted me, was I got to go to WrestleMania Access, which is the night before WrestleMania. It's where like it's a big convention basically where you can walk around and meet a bunch of wrestlers and
That's
stuff
pretty
like that.
cool.
And
didn't
since
know
I was
that.
a Make-A-Wish kid, like there was a bunch of lines I got to meet. Like if for anybody who knows wrestling, which if you don't, you're dead to me. It's a Money in the Bank.
But if you do, follow him on Instagram
At
@jiu-jitsu_, and if that changes, I'll leave him in the description. And if something happens,
Dude,
where
I'm
his
tired
account,
of meta. Like, speaking of that, like
we'll get on that. We'll get on that. We'll get on that meta in a minute because I
Anyways.
hate meta right now.
But-
So if
So essentially, I got to go to WrestleMania Access, which is like the night is like 2 nights before WrestleMania, I think, or the night before, one of the two. And I got to meet a bunch of wrestlers there, and then one of the days, I think, because I think this is when they were still on Sundays. So Friday, Saturday was WrestleMania Access. Friday, we got to go to Universal, and like I didn't know this was happening. I thought I was just going to Universal,
like what do you mean Universal?
like Studios, the park.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, but
They
there's,
really pimped you out, man.
huh?
They really pimped you out.
Dude, it was odd. Like, it was honestly one of the
awesome.
best experiences of my life.
Not pimped you out, but like they hooked you up.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah.
They really like.
It was awesome.
That's really cool. That's actually
So,
really awe inspiring.
I had, they have Margaritaville in Universal, and basically it was this huge event for like just us, essentially the Make-A-Wish kids, the group that wished to go to WrestleMania, and basically I got to meet Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and God forbid me, there's a couple others there that I can't really remember off the top of my head because it was like so like.
Didn't you say there was a couple of girls on top of it that were like really like kind of like hanging out with you, like getting pictures and stuff too because of it?
Like
I don't remember.
like at there or like
I don't remember.
well like so like, after that it was
Like
they
people
had a
trying to take
surprise
pictures.
for us and it was John Cena And like listen, I am a smart kid. I brought my John Cena hat just in case. I had it in my briefcase because it was my carry-on. My briefcase was my carry-on, so I was walking through the airport with this thing. This is big gold case. And I throw on my John Cena hat, I'm like, and then it's my turn because like his music like whatever, yeah. And listen, I know that whole song, but we're not gonna get into that. But we essentially like a bunch of kids meet him, and like we have this plaque. It's like the Circle of Champions, and it has my name on it. And like I have a picture of me and him holding the plaque together, and then he signs my briefcase, and he looks at me, and he sees my head. He's like, "I'm gonna sign that too." So I got 2 John Cena signatures that day. And that was probably one of the happiest days of my life until I get married and have children. Because, like, that is still so cool to think about. So I did that. And then I did an interview. Like, I got interviewed by all of the news stations down there. Because, like, I'm a weird story. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't look like I don't look like I had all the surgeries. But, like, I had all of these surgeries and stuff as, like, a young kid. It's, like... So, like, I have a newspaper from that time that, like, of this whole dude wrote a whole column about me.
That's awesome.
But then they aired it on the news as well, like, my interview. Because when I was getting interviewed by all these news stations, WWE superstar Becky Lynch, she came in. And this is on YouTube, which is hilarious.
So this can still be found?
Yes, this can still be found. It's under a different name because I went by a different name back then, but... It can indeed still be found. But like she came over to me and like was talking with me and like kind of like hugged me a little bit, and it was like I was so like, because I was a big fan of her too. I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is crazy. And then like I walked around, and then that was really cool. And then I saw probably one of the most selfless things ever in my life. This kid, the night before, because they were switched. I went to Access before, and then I went to John Cena. Then I saw John Cena. So it was John Cena was the day before WrestleMania, and Access was that Friday night. Okay. So I already had a bunch of signatures on my briefcase. Like
Friday was Access, then Saturday was
Universal. Cena. Yeah, and then Sunday
Universal?
was at Universal, and then Sunday was WrestleMania. And then there was like a Thursday. There was like a Thursday, but Thursday and Wednesday, I forget what we did. I think Wednesday we went. We actually Keith bought tickets to that WrestleMania when he found out we were going down there, and we met up with Keith and Tyler and got Denny's down there as well. Which is
a really good dude.
Really which I love Keith. That's a core memory right there.
Yeah.
But like even like walking around, like once I got all those signatures from Access, you know how many people's phones I'm in because they were taking pictures with me. Because I was walking around with this gold briefcase with a bunch of wrestler signatures on it. Like, I remember taking pictures with, like, 50 people that day. But, no, I mean, it was cool. I always joke that, like, I made a wish to meet John Cena, but I never got to see him.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite jokes. I'm like, I got robbed on my Make-A-Wish.
He signed your stuff, but you didn't see him when he did it. It was on your head, but you couldn't see him.
But no,
His time was now.
But that was a really good experience. I mean, it will always hold dear. But I mean, like, I don't know. I do downplay it because like I don't really know what to say about it. Like, it's normal for me. Like, it is what it is. Like, I still got into trouble. Like, I was still like,
you were still a kid.
I was still a kid. Like. But
you
like,
just didn't get to go to school for most of high school, and you just
had
to keep having surgeries. And
funny story is, freshman year was my only year I was in school for like the whole school year, and that is my worst academic year ever because I was such a bad kid. I had 22 disciplinary actions that year, and I got arrested before finals.
Yeah, I get it. I wish I could say I didn't, but
a dude who I thought was my friend snitched on me because I had a little bit of weed in my book bag.
Bro, weed is the thing that, between weed and wrestling, that's the thing that stopped me from being such a bad kid. Like, I was fighting everything.
Well, I was more trying to stand out.
Madison High School, from what I was told, allegedly had the most fights per student capita for the state of Ohio for 4 years running. that was both directly my fault and indirectly my fault, because years prior to that, I was just fighting everyone. To the point to where, like, culturally, my whole grade and the grade above and the grade below just fought everyone.
Yeah.
So even when I left Madison, there was still fights.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I see, like, I didn't fight. I wasn't an angry child. I was depressed. And so, like, I, like, stood out. Like,
It's like you had brain surgery or something.
Well, I mean, like, I first tried killing myself at 13. And, like, I tried 2 more times after that.
This is also Men's Health Awareness Month, by the way. If you are ever feeling some type of way,
reach out. Like,
just reach out to someone. Be
even if you don't feel like you can reach out anyways. Because you may not take the advice in that moment, but it will start to simmer into your brain. And, like, you will become better. Find God, honestly. God saved my life. That in jiu-jitsu.
Community. The one thing that I will say is someone who's dealt with a lot of disorder and trauma and just depression, among many other things, be involved in your community. That's the thing that's going to make you feel better. Like, because when you have someone to lean on, you have that, like, bro, you know you can call me at any given point.
Oh, yeah,
time
100%.
if you're feeling some type of way. In fact, I believe you have, and I think I've called you.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like,
That's
what the point of all of this is.
You gotta find friends, like, because for a long time, having all those surgeries, I didn't, like, I went to a Catholic school up until 7th grade, and so, like, 8th grade...
You're a Catholic schoolboy.
I was, and then by 8th grade, I, like, went to a public school, and, like, I didn't really know how to act, because I didn't hang out with people outside of school, because I was missing so much school because of the surgeries.
Yep.
So I really hung out by myself a lot. So, like, I didn't really know how to act. So, like, 8th grade year, like, I was just on a rampage. And, like, I was just doing anything and everything. And, like, I don't think I had a surgery that year. I think that was one of my good years. I think I was there in freshman year, and then sophomore year, it took a shit. I think that's how it went. Because 7th grade I had some, 6th grade I had some. I think 8th grade and 9th grade were, like, good years for me. And it was also, like, really bad years for me as well.
I get it.
But, like, I don't know. It's, like, 13 is when I first tried to kill myself. I mean, if my mom came home a second later, I would have been dead. Literally.
Thank God.
Like, I had a knife. It was, like, you know those kitchen knives? Like, those old ones, especially, that are, like, huge?
Yeah.
Like, I had one like that to my throat.
Ugh.
And, like, I remember... Like, I heard, like, I was ready, like, I was going. Like, I already started. And I heard the garage. And I was like, I didn't think about it in the moment, but, like, I was like, I can't let my mom see me like this. So I, like, put the knife back. I wiped it down real quick, put the knife back, grabbed the paper towel, I ran upstairs. I drew blood, a little bit of blood on my neck. I remember it. And I stayed in the room for the rest of the night. Like, my mom used to call me when I got home from school just to make sure I was still alive. Sometimes. She told me that recently.
But that's again, that's the trauma and everything else. That's where you have to be strong to get through that, and I'm proud of you for doing that, because I know, like, dude, like, that's not easy. I know what I went through is not easy, but what you went through is way worse, dude.
And, like, looking back on it, like, that's around the time I started smoking weed, was like a year later, maybe a little bit afterwards. And, like, at the time, it really helped me. But then it got to a point where, like I got later in life, like, when I first started training jiu-jitsu, and I realized, like, it no longer helped me in that way. Mm-hmm. And it more became of just, like, a pleasure of mine. And then that's when, like, I kind of took the steps. Because, like, at this point, it's really funny. When I started training jiu-jitsu, I was, like, 145, 152. Like, I was a tiny kid. And, like,
you weren't lifting or nothing.
No,
like,
I wasn't doing anything.
You'd have been the person that we would have thought of as someone that's, like, super far left, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like just, like, really hard to have a conversation with. But, like, just from, like, a looks perspective.
Oh,
people
100%.
would have looked at you and
all I did was
like,
smoke weed and eat sheets. Literally. That's all. Dude, sheets food? At that time, I loved sheets food. And I had such a high metabolism that, like, it didn't matter. Like, I wasn't fat. Like, so it's like that was crazy. But, like, so I was a $152.
Youth. I'm 190, bro.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
I could feel it when we roll.
Yeah. That's partly pressure. Give me some credit. I got technique too.
Fatness.
Yo, man, happy relationship. Wait, I don't know what to say.
Hey, I respect that though, because I can't seem to find that. But I don't know, like when I started, I was a $152, and like I got obsessed with this is like all I still do.
You felt a sense of progress, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta.
Well, like also
You
like
also started competing pretty early too. Like as a white belt, you were competing, and specifically at Helson Gracie Cleveland, where
no one competed.
People, like I was one of
my first competition is the one competition where we had multiple teammates. Every other competition was just me.
That was kind of how it went with me when I was there.
Yeah.
And I shout out to Upgraded Industries because a lot of the people that were competing with me at that were Upgraded Industries people. So I started at Upgraded Industries when they first did their jiu-jitsu program, when it was like an old blue belt that hadn't rolled in forever teaching the class. And then DJ recommended that I go to Helson Gracie Cleveland to work with Mark Stefanik.
Oh, love Mark.
Yeah, love Mark. It was... Then they had a fallout. DJ went and started doing his own thing, which now DJ's now a black belt. And dude, I don't know if you've taken any of their classes over there, but it's it's really good.
They keep trying because I work out at Upgraded. They want me, like they've invited me to a class every once in a while.
I think it would do you really good to go to DJ's classes, having the wrestling background that he does, as technical as he is.
Yeah, like I took a seminar at Will Brooks' school at Grindstone.
Grindstone, shout out to Grindstone.
When he first
shout
opened
out to
up.
Upgraded Industries.
But no, yeah, we were training at Helson Gracie. And I was like, I signed up for my first competition my second month in. I was like, I started late April. By like mid-June, not even 2 months. Mid-June, I signed up for a competition in October. And I was like, screw it. I was like, why not? And like, I progressed really fast because at that time I was going like 6 days a week, 2-3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like I was going hard.
It's real easy to end up doing that when you're especially when you're in that point in life when you don't really have a whole lot
like I didn't
going
have
on.
anything else.
It's just kind of like, man, I just need a really good hobby, something that I can do,
Like,
something that's going to make my body feel better. And I mean, like, how much do you weigh now? Because you were at 150 then. How much do you weigh now?
I walk around like 163, 164.
And that's all extremely healthy weight. You put on way more mass. Like
I got up to 175. That was my biggest.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like bulking. I was like,
over here drinking a protein drink and stuff like that.
That was gas, honestly. I didn't know how that was going to taste, but that was amazing.
Speaking of, he's also been trying to get this sponsorship from Ghost.
Bro, Ghost
Lifestyle, Ghost Energy.
Sponsor me.
Like, you got a Make-A-Wish kid that
like,
now, and we're going to talk into this, which is where this is going to lead. He, at high level, is competing for jiu-jitsu.
Man.
High enough.
Intermediate level. Like, I'm getting there.
You just won a super fight, and the way that super fight worked is there was best 2 out of 3 matches, 15-minute rounds, sub only.
Now, I will say, Arena Grappling, shout out Arena Grappling, thank you for having me. I love that promotion. I love the guys there. And I unfortunately can't make they do one every other month, it seems like. I unfortunately can't make the August one. But I'm damn sure going to make that October one. So the way the format works, it's called the Arena Endurance format. And so it's 3 rounds, 15 minutes. It's all
each round.
5 minutes each round. It's a full 15-minute match.
Oh, okay.
And so,
I
like,
thought you had like a 45-minute match. I was like, we want to talk about an endurance round. Like,
no. It's a full 15-minute match. So basically, the way it happens is like if, for instance, round 1 in my match, there was no sub. So there's no points.
So the first 5 minutes, there's no sub.
No, you're allowed to sub.
But there wasn't one.
So then we had the minute rest. And like I pulled, so like when I compete in these out of state ones, like I don't tell Academy 440 because like it's not a level where like for instance, Arena Grappling has rankings and a championship. If I'm like fighting for the championship or number 1, I'm gonna like get somebody out there with me. But like I'm still at a point where like it's all experience for me. You know what I mean? And so it's like I'm really testing myself in my first big competition. And
you're winning or learning.
Exactly. So like in like a few weeks before this, for context, I lost the super fight that I was winning. I was winning the match. I was dominating with my guard.
Control over him for sure.
And I messed up, and I got caught with an ankle lock. Well, I got obsessed.
Yeah, I seen it.
Like all I'm working now is leg entanglements, but that's besides the point. So arena grappling, it's 3 5-minute rounds, 1 minute rest. Basically, so if you get a sub, it ends the round right then and there, and then you go to the minute rest, and then you go to the second return. You only get a point off of the sub. So like if there's no subs in the whole, so let's say like there was no sub in the first. All right, I tapped him in the second with a guillotine. If he tapped me in the third, and the round, we would have went into an overtime round. And there's no sub in the overtime round, it goes to a judge's decision.
So when you say there's points, so you're saying
like a sub was a point.
So you got 2 points?
I got 1 point. So I to win the match, I got 2 points. Yes, because like after 2, so like if I would have went out there and tapped him first and then tapped him second, there probably wouldn't have been a third round because he can't win the match. Like it's whoever has the most subs at the end of the 15.
Yeah.
So like in the second round, I got him with a guillotine and I tapped him, and so I was up 1-0, and I listened back to the video. And the commentary even says, he was like, you can't celebrate yet. He was like, you didn't win it. Does he have the composure? I was like, and like, I thought about that and I was like, I have the composure. I said, but like, that stuff gets me hype. Like you should, like, I don't give a, like, I do not care that I have a whole nother 5 minutes. I was like, it may look like I'm tired, but wait until I turn on that second gas tank. Like, the people I roll with are such a high level, high endurance.
Evan Rossborough, Tim, you got Nikolai, you got Brad.
And I roll with Nikolai regularly.
Brad is literally out here winning ADCC trials matches.
He won
high level black
He won ADCC World Open in August of 2024 in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like
Helson Gracie just came out from Brazil.
He gave him his
third stripe on his black belt.
Love Brad. Brad's amazing. Brad's hilarious.
Very, very, very well.
And it's funny because like I've had 2 jiu-jitsu coaches, Mark and then Brad. Mark was like the father figure I needed.
Yeah.
Brad is the coach I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And so it's like, anyway, so like I just grabbed a dude from the stands. Like I used his foam roller like 5 minutes before, and I was like, hey bro, I was like, can you stand in the corner for me? He's like, yeah, what's your game plan? And I told him my game plan. He was like, that's perfect, I'm a wrestler. Because my game plan was to, like, pressure pass and, like, really play my top game. Because this dude's from 10th Planet, New York City. He's a purple belt, apparently, from 10th Planet, New York City.
What's his name? Do you remember?
Yoichi Harada.
Shout out to Yoichi.
Dude, great match. Respect. But I found this out afterwards that he was a purple belt. I didn't realize. I thought he was, like, my rank a little bit lower.
And you're talking about the guy that was in your corner?
No, I'm talking about the dude I faced.
Oh, so you're beating a purple belt. That was a blue belt.
Nick Brad.
Try not to break your son.
His name was... Oh, fuck. No, I don't want to get it wrong, dude. I like that dude. He was so nice. Give me a sec.
Oh, you're good. So your first... the way that your match ended up working, your first round, there was no sub.
There was
Second
no sub.
round, you got him a guillotine. Third round, what'd you sub him with?
I got him with, so I got him with so I threatened a smother, and if you don't know what a smother is, it's literally just this.
They're covering their mouth.
You cover their nose and their mouth.
You can't breathe. You have to react in some way usually.
I was in full mount.
And this is also round 3.
Yes,
so round 3, you're already exhausted.
Well, he was tired after round 1, dog.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Dude, he was like, because he was like, round 1 is the only round that like he was really offensive. Other than that, even then he really wasn't. Like, I was in control this whole match.
That's where having that format is so different from what most other people do. It kind of forces you that where... And what was dude's name?
Nick Backman. You're a goat. He competed on the card too.
Backman, yeah, Nick Backman.
He's a goat. But
he's the guy who cornered you.
yeah, he was the dude that cornered me, and he was so he told me when to sprawl. He was like, clear that leg. Like, it helped so much.
A good corner makes a big difference.
Dude, huge. Like, he knew. Like, he was amazing.
So you're over here winning matches where a lot of the time you don't even have a corner just because you're not really.
Like that tackle
for
league.
Someone, and I'm sure if you
I beat a
asked
purple belt at that tackle
Tim
league.
or Nikolai or
Well,
Evan
I
or
tried,
someone
but Nikolai, I tried, but they're not always free. And I mean,
Everyone's
arena grappling
got a
was a 7.5 hour drive.
Oof.
So next time, I'm gonna compete for them more. And when I get into the rankings, if I have a number one contender fight or thing, I'm gonna buy their hotel room, and I'm essentially gonna be like, hey, I'll pay for your hotel rooms for the nights you're here.
You're talking about for the coach?
Yeah, for my coach.
I mean, just let people know far enough ahead of time.
Well, yeah,
that's part of the thing.
Well, that's that's
easier
also
said than done.
Yeah, exactly. But so it's whatever it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So it's
I'll be honest, man. If you need to, depending on what it is, I'll just come corner you.
You see, I don't think about that stuff. I just go for it, whatever.
I know. That's why I'm saying. Say something.
No, I will.
I'm telling you, having someone in your corner to have that bird's eye point of view, because when you're in the moment, you can feel things, you can see things, but having that different level heartbeat where you're like, all right, I'm zoned in, I'm watching, and I'm seeing what's going on. I know you need to sprawl now.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it on the background and being like, oh, if I just underhook and do this thing, I've got it.
He actually helped me get him out because he was clear that leg, and a minute I cleared that leg and I went, and so he was goated, and so it's that was that way this format was.
Again, that's why I love this community, and that's why personally I'm trying to do my own thing where I'm trying to do a jiu-jitsu combined with cannabis community event.
It's just about finding a venue. That's the hardest part.
The venue's
to allow
a very
cannabis
large part of
smoking.
it. There's a lot of factors to it. I tried doing a lot of it by myself. I am not a graphics designer and trying to get a sponsor deck that looks super professional and asking people for $500 to sponsor a team, and then the team getting the rash guards.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot for one guy to do. So, but I'm coming back at it with a team to make it.
But that's
you got to. But that's
you live and you learn. You live and you learn. You're not. Steve Jobs didn't succeed his first attempt.
Nope.
Gordon Ryan didn't win his first role.
No, he was a purple belt before he ended up going to John Danaher, and that completely changed his game.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
That's where a good corner, a good coach, or someone to help steer you in the right direction, good role models. Community makes such a big difference.
It's huge. Community is the biggest. Community is huge.
Forever.
But so I love those guys there, and they were talking to me before, and I was joking around. I was like, I live and die by that ankle lock, dog. And I was like, I can snatch it, but I'll lose to it too. But they instantly could tell, because when we started, he sat on his butt because he's a Teth Planet nerd, and they like to play the leg rubber guard games and whatnot.
Bravo.
Love, thanks, dog.
Again, a stoner community that does jiu-jitsu.
Dude, Eddie Bravo is hilarious.
I feel like the current...
Do you know who Jeremiah Butler is?
I know of him. I
Dude,
have him on Instagram.
Have you ever seen the way he pulls guard? He just drops.
Welcome to jiu-jitsu.
But he's so long. He's 6'3". His limbs are so long. It's actually difficult to get past his guard. But
that's why he pulls guard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I play guard because I'm able to keep you tight. But this one, he didn't let me play guard, and I came in, dude. Look at me real quick. I went boom. I clubbed him so hard, and they're like, "Whoa, big club!" And then at one point they said it's the battle of the first names of the best first names because his name's Yoichi and mine's Epifanio.
Who's got the most unique?
Oh.
Who's the better name?
Well, I mean, his is a straight Japanese name, and he is Japanese, and I am a white male, and so I feel like Epifanio kind of beats the cake on that one. But it was a fun format. I would love to compete again. But I'm doing another one in Detroit, July 12th, for Grappling Industries. Yep. And actually, West
Side Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
Shout out Alicia.
They are goated, because I reached out a little bit ago for a coach there, because a few of the guys are competing in Chicago that day. And so I'm that's a bigger competition. Don't worry about me in Grappling Industries. I can I'm not really worried about it. But Westside BJJ is coaching me, and like they said they'll sit in my corner. So like shout out you guys, thank you. But I mean I compete a lot like this. Like
Thanks, Alicia. Appreciate the favor.
thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. That's again. This is where community makes a big difference. Like. You've met Alicia once or twice. She knows you through me. You reached out to them.
Yeah,
Just like immediately, like, yeah, bro, I got you.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, no problem.
And
I'm
that's
like, hell yeah.
That's where surrounding yourself with just good people. I mean, like, let me put it to you this way: there's good gyms and there's bad gyms. But that's everywhere. There's good communities and there's bad communities. You just got to kind of go out there. You got to risk it. You got to find out which ones are good ones.
You said this earlier, and you said that when Gordon Ryan went there as a purple belt, his game completely changed. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt when I left Helson and went to 440.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Helson. Like, I love the people at Helson.
I usually tend to send people to Helson to start. And for hobbyists, and then
that's what it is.
That's getting serious about it, or people that used to wrestle, I send them to either 440 or Upgraded Industries.
Like,
and that's just around Northeast Ohio,
yeah,
like Lake County,
and like
area.
I don't know. So it's like I got my blue belt when I was in like 23, and I started going to 440 June because you told me after a Helson Open mat. Mm-hmm. And so I checked it out.
Because I felt like you were competing a lot, whereas most other people weren't.
Yeah, because at this point I'm doing the Arnold every year. Like I still do the Arnold every year. Mm-hmm.
Which the Arnold Classic is actually really
I love
freaking dope, man.
You and Saul came on and coached me one time, which you are goated for that to this day.
That was a good day, man. That was fun. We got to walk around the convention. We saw Arnold Schwarzenegger give a little speech.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was right before we both bought our therapy gun stuff, too. Oh, my God. Therapy guns in jiu-jitsu are clutch.
Dude, that's another thing is, like, I still train, like, 5 days a week for, like, 2 hours every day.
I wish I could.
But, like, see, that's my thing is, like, you have said, bro, come to Lincoln. You'll make a lot of, like, sorry.
You're good.
Like
we work a swing shift, and the problem with the swing shift is like it's really hard to adjust everything. Having a schedule where one day out of the week I'll work 5 days, 5 12-hour shifts. The next week I'll only work 2. But then the problem is that week I'm recovering because I'm also going from night shift to day shift every 2 weeks. So it's just hard to adjust, but I'm trying to come back. I'm making it.
Yeah, no, you're definitely. I will say,
riding a bike
compared to like when you first started working it, you have been. I've been seeing you on the mats more now.
Yeah,
which is good.
I honestly left Helson Greasy Cleveland. I work a 6 to 6 schedule. I'm about to work a 7 to 7.
And their schedules are literally 6 and
4:30, 5:30, 6:30.
Yeah.
So after working a 12-hour shift in super hot conditions where I'm sweaty, I'm dirty.
You have no time to.
Yeah, I cannot come straight to a class. I got to shower before. I'm gonna be that smelly. No one be the smelly guy on the mat, please. Like, ugh.
It's not it.
Yeah.
Cut your nails too.
Yeah, like there's certain little rules that are like etiquette.
If you have a mark on your leg, don't show up. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, if you think it might be staph or something, don't
put on deodorant. That's the big thing. Put on deodorant. Brush your teeth.
At least shower right before. You don't even have to put the deodorant on if you just shower right before.
Have normal hygiene.
And when I say shower, use body soap.
Yes, like not that liquid.
Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I gotta be, like, skin-to-skin contact with you, rolling with you. I'm not trying to get cut by toenails or fingernails.
Like, seriously, take care of yourself.
Yeah. Wash your butthole.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Just take, like, a little bar of soap and wash your fucking butthole once in a while, man. I'm telling you.
What?
Trust me, there's some people out there that just smell really bad, and they'll be like, "Oh, I took a shower."
I'm glad I haven't experienced that.
Oh yeah, dude, it's not great.
But no, I mean,
it's not common for wrestlers or jiu-jitsu, but like, people need to learn. This isn't just like education for grapplers. This is like people need to like be healthy, man.
Just have hygiene. That's all it is.
Turn off
We're
the PlayStation.
Grown people. We're grown-ups. But, like, no, I left Helson, and, like, when I went to 440, I realized, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't get
hobbyist versus
promoted.
competition.
I was there for like 6 months before I got my first stripe from Brad. And I just got my third stripe from...
But when you got those stripes, you were very...
yeah.
Like,
Like,
you
I
were
feel like I
at
earned it.
the competitive level of a one stripe.
Like, I'm
when
almost
you
at...
get that.
I'm almost at my fourth stripe.
And that's pretty
I
accurate.
don't think I am skill-wise,
You
but
are.
like... That's...
You are. Your wrestling's gotten a lot better. Your top pressure's gotten a lot better. You got to work a little bit more on your sweeps, but other than that, like...
That's one thing I've been trying to underhook sweeps recently for my butterfly. And like, that's one thing
Watch
I've
out,
been...
you'll get this.
I'm okay. I've accepted that long ago.
It's annoying. That's why. So I like Doug. You remember Doug, right?
Yeah.
I think Doug's at Grindstone now.
Yeah, he's grind. There's a lot of people at Grindstone now.
Yeah. So like early on, that was one of the. I'm really big on concepts when it comes to jiu-jitsu. And underhooks, especially from guard, are king. So especially with big guys, what my game is I'll put you in guard. I'll get an underhook on this side specifically, pressure in with my head on my left side, and then I'll kind of more often than not circle outside because I've got that cleared airway to be able to just kind of go around.
See, that's where we're different. Is like, you've been in my guard a little bit recently. I don't think you've been in like got my full extent, but like, I play a butterfly guard, and so like, I'm not really like, underhooks is like something I've always been able to get to, but I don't use them because I'm more of like pushing on your legs. Like, the amount of times like I snap somebody like if I like snap somebody like this way, I'm kicking this knee out, and then when they try to like readjust, they go over like that. And like, that's one of my favorite sweeps from butterfly. And so like, recently I've been trying to test that underhook a little bit, but like, my main thing I'm working is the legs. Like, I've realized I am like a baby when it comes to the leg game. Like,
So-
like, I can grab an ankle lock, but like, I don't understand the different positions. And
That's
like, Nikolai is helping with that.
one thing about our area. So for those of you who don't know, we're Northeast Ohio area.
Cleveland.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Ohio. Anyway,
Browns have a winning record, please. Thank you.
that's come
That's
on.
that's all we want. Unfortunately.
Don't go to Brook Park. Anyway, what were we saying just a second ago?
We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and we were talking about legs.
Legs. So Cleveland, Ohio in general in the Midwest is known for our wrestlers. I wasn't a good wrestler. Connie, I had a couple of people. We had like 13 people. Shout out to Alicia. She was one of the people who would actually go to states. We had Billy Post. We had around my weight class. We had runners up like Austin Sherman, CJ Rice. That's why I had to drop down in weight classes. Don't drop down in weight classes. Just get more technical and get better. Just technical, better, stronger. Don't cut weight so much.
It's really not good for you.
It's really not.
That's why I dieted down to the weight I'm at now, so it's an easier cut to 55.
Yeah, it's like, it's one thing to do a little bit, but it's
More than 10 pounds is excessive.
dude, sectionals I went from 132 to 160 when I ate. Don't do it. Don't do it like that.
The biggest cut I'm ever going to do is for trials, and that's to 147.
But yeah, so our area, Northeast Ohio, is known for our wrestlers. We have really good wrestling. But our leg game could be better. We have Emil Fisher and their group of people. We have the Cleveland Institute. But those are more like inner Cleveland and like west side of Cleveland that has a lot of really good leg
Emil
stuff.
Fisher's just a troll.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love it.
He won't... My one critique with Emil... One, he's a weird guy. Dude weirds me out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's a shtick. I kind of like
It is a shit. And
Bro
like,
comes out in a fucking the goofiest thing with like inflatable duck wrapped around him.
Like it's stupid,
but he's good. That's the worst part about it. That's why it works, is because he's good.
But he's good at the local level, and he won't face people that will give him a tough time. The amount of times he's ducked Evan, the amount of times he's ducked Tim, and I don't use the word ducked.
And I'll give him that with those two in particular, though. That's an age thing. Emila's getting a little older, and those guys.
Yeah, but for the amount of crap he talks.
Yeah. No, I 100% understand.
You know what? Like, it's for the amount of crap you... Like,
I'm just playing devil's advocate on both sides.
Like, I talk, but, like, I always back up my talk.
Yeah.
Or at least I attempt to. And if I lose, I take it like a man.
I think Emil just needs to face Evan.
That's real, bro. Just face Evan.
I think Emil Fisher needs to take a match with Evan Rossborough at the next UGI caged event.
He had one locked in and he pulled out.
I think he should take it.
Like he should, but like he's good against like
He's
guys
good
who
against a lot of the local people. A lot of the local
people
people refuse to face him, but then like he goes against someone like Max Hansen, who's like top 15 for his weight class in the world.
Yeah,
and he'll get beat.
But like that exactly, like.
But also going back to the legs, Max Hansen, Dante Leon, all those
100%,
guys,
100%,
best at leg stuff.
100%. Even then, like we have like hidden gems here. Like there are a few people that are like crazy with like Jeff Starr at 440. He is insane with his
Jeff
he
Starr,
upped my game so much.
So if you've been around for a really
your instructor's instructor was Jeff Starr.
like a lot of times. Like he trained with Guru Danny Masano.
He was Helson Gracie's, which is one of what's his name? Huron? What Helio's 18 sons.
Yeah, but he's one of the main guys for the jiu-jitsu scene, Helson Gracie.
Yeah, he's one of the main guys. Like he's like Hoist was not the best Gracie that they could have put in UFC.
They actually put him in just because of the fact that he was arguably like one of the smallest and not the best. That was the whole point, is the fact of showing like
if they put Helson or Hickson in there, bro, they would have been smoked. Like Helson was legit crazy back in the day, from what I've heard. But
he was a party boy.
Jeff Starr is like kind of like one of those like local guys who is like insane with his leg entanglements, and so like he teaches at 440 like every Wednesday or every whenever he can.
His classes are extremely technical and in a way that you wouldn't expect a lot of the stuff.
Like for the first half hour, you're just doing shadow drills.
And the reason that what he does works so well is because he's taken so much of this old school martial arts,
but he's involved it into the new.
Yes, he's made it to where like let's be honest. I grew up with a lot of the old school martial arts. You said you did karate. Like 99% of that shit's like bullshito.
Off topic, real quick. There's a video out there of Elvis doing karate training with a famous karate dude, and he's just coked out of his mind. And he's just like, "Hi-ya!" That's the funniest video ever.
That was Bruce Lee trained with.
Was that Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee trained Elvis. Bruce Lee trained a whole bunch of
coked. He was coked out of his mind in this video. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's a podcast. We can do whatever we want. That's the whole point.
But like that's one of my favorite videos on there. But anyways, Jeff Starr, great dude, great leg entanglements, and we do have some few hidden gems here. And like
because he took all the old school stuff and he took that 10% of the stuff that really works.
Yeah.
And he implemented it into the stuff that's so. The way I look at martial arts is the base, like you got your 90% and then you got your 10%. Your 90% stand-up, boxing and Muay Thai. Kickboxing, Muay Thai. Those are your base fundamentals for stand-up.
I'd say Muay Thai and boxing more than kickboxing.
Those three. I would put those three because all three of them have fundamentals that all... You could apply fundamentals from all three of those things into anyone else's game.
I'm just a big hater on kickboxing.
Yeah, teach their own. But still. Then for ground game, you've got Sambo's picking up a little bit. Or stand-up, you can also say Judo would play into it. But Judo, I would even say, is still your 10%.
Yeah,
because Judo would play into your grappling. And then your grappling is wrestling is dominant. Wrestling is if you look at UFC, the most number of champions have a background in wrestling. I would actually jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu plays into it, but from the very early days, especially wrestling.
Yeah.
And then wrestlers that then take that game and then apply it to jiu-jitsu, those are the ultimate monsters, dude. Like, look at Evan. Brandon Reed, dude. Oh.
Gable Stevenson would do monstrous things in a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Totally, like, circling back to something from forever ago, early on.
He's facing Craig Jones.
Dan Gable. Dan Gable's facing Craig Jones.
I thought it was Gable Stevenson.
I thought it was Dan Gable.
No, it's Gable Stevenson.
I heard it was Dan Gable because it was that moment. Yeah, definitely look this up because here's the thing: like, who's the most known wrestler in the entire world?
Gable Stevenson.
Dan Gable.
I don't know. I didn't know who that was until you said it.
You didn't know who Dan Gable was?
Nope.
Bro, they've got a whole museum for him in, like, Iowa. Look up a Craig Jones match. Look up Craig Jones TJI match. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to filler talk while he does this. Filibustering, as they call it. So Dan Gable
will face Craig Jones, a prominent jiu-jitsu competitor, at the Craig Jones Invitational 2, which is scheduled for August 31st in Las Vegas.
Okay, so it is Gable Stevenson, so I was wrong.
He's going to do monstrous things to Craig Jones.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, if he doesn't know wrestler, or if he doesn't know jiu-jitsu, or no, it's just a wrestling match, isn't it?
It's a jiu-jitsu match.
I thought it was a wrestling match.
No, but also he's been
so full of inaccuracy. Don't listen to it.
But also, he's been training MMA because he might make a UFC debut. Like, he's been training MMA. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. I'm so excited for that. I mean,
that does make more sense than Dan Gable, because Dan Gable is, like, at this point, like...
That's what I was like...
I don't know. I thought it would still be cool. I would just let him take me down just because if it was Dan Gable. He probably wouldn't need to try.
I would have liked it more if it was, what's his name? Dan Severn.
Are you talking about the guy from, like, early UFC?
The big handlebar mustache?
Yeah, the guy that, like, who's notorious for getting in the fight where they're both just, like, locked up and just hammer fist or straight punching each other in the fucking face for, like, a whole round. And then they're like, I don't know, I just knew I had to hit him harder.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's hilarious. He's like the 90s Sean Strickland.
Oh, I love it.
Bro, that's hilarious. I love that. But I forgot where I was going with that. But.
I don't know. I circled back to the Craig Jones thing,
and then
so I left everything in the past.
But I am going to Orlando again, which is going to be the first time that I've been there since.
And not as a Make-A-Wish kid?
And not as a Make-A-Wish kid.
What are you going to Orlando for?
ADCC trials.
Okay, there we go. So you're going from Make-A-Wish kid to fucking ADCC's trial competitor.
Yeah.
You are going from Make-A-Wish kid to ADCC trials.
It's really funny when you say it like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it's the truth. Like, I mean, that's where, in all honesty, like, my advice to you is I'd be pitching yourself that way.
I don't know.
You're a Christian guy who's devout to the Lord, who found God and found jiu-jitsu, and Monster Energy should sponsor you. Ghost Energy. Sorry, not...
Monster Energy is Daniel Cohen's stick.
I mean, look...
Sorry, Daniel, I am not stealing your shtick.
All I'm saying is you could have plenty of options.
I know.
Ghost Energy would be blessed to have you. Because you're going from a Make-A-Wish kid to a guy who uses Ghost... A Make-A-Wish kid for brain surgery who's now using Ghost Energy to compete at high levels of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I drink Ghosts a lot. I love Ghosts.
Have you tried their hydration one yet?
Yeah.
Dude, it's DJ has it upgraded.
I just had it today.
Did you have the Welch's grape?
Yeah.
It tastes so good. It tastes like Welch's grape juice.
It's so good.
Why does it taste so good?
Dude, I don't know. I love grape.
It's like their version of Gatorade. And if you look at the ingredients, it's all actually like really good stuff.
Dude, I love Ghost. I don't know, but it's like normal to me. So like, I don't really like to market myself like that. Like as the Make-A-Wish kid. Just because it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know what to say about it. Like,
I would just put it in your bio from Make-A-Wish kid to ADCC competitor.
Like, it's just... It's like, I don't know.
That's how I'm about to market this.
That's why I just make jokes. Like, it is what it is. Like, oftentimes I say, like, the reason my memory shows shit is because of all the brain surgeries.
I mean, my brain's shit, so...
Like...
And I don't have... Well, I mean, I've got brain trauma. I've definitely woken up in an MRI machine and not known what was going on.
Dude, I used to fall asleep on those all the time.
Dude, the thing that set me back... So I fell off of a dumpster when I was... I know, it sounds terrible.
Wait.
We were tearing down my dad's garage.
Okay.
And I climbed up the back of it to try and save space because I seen that we were running out of space on the rent a dumpster thing. I climbed up the back, threw stuff in it. The second or third time going up it, I was exhausted, so I kind of like sat on the side. And apparently, I remember up to about right here in the fall. And I don't remember anything else up until waking up in the MRI machine. Apparently, I had amnesia. I kept waking up, but I didn't know who I was, where I was, what happened. My dad was there, but I was like, who are you? What's going on? Like, It was a whole...
That's crazy.
You know what snapped me back?
What?
The guy in the MRI operating thing, he yelled at me. I have so much trauma in my life from being yelled at that I could have full blown like never remembered myself. And he screamed. He was like, "Shut up and lay down." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I started remembering everything again.
Dude,
it was great.
It was
trauma can be helpful. It just depends on how you use it.
Hey, all the greatest people come from trauma.
Yeah, a lot of them. You just gotta make it your own.
That's all you gotta do. I remember...
You gotta get a ghost sponsorship.
I'm going for it. More content is coming soon. I will be uploading more content on my TikTok and my Instagram page.
Yeah. Ugh, TikTok. But yeah, TikTok. Follow him on TikTok. Again, shout out your Instagram and your TikTok?
So my Instagram is epijitsu_. That's EPIJITSU_. And then,
like Epipen?
No.
Not Epipen as his handle, but the start of it is Epi, like Epipen.
Unfortunately. And then TikTok is epijitsu _. I will be uploading more content. I have an account with like 300 followers on it that I was like starting to upload TikTok on, but then Meta was like, haha, no thank you.
Yeah, social media.
What's messed up?
So yeah, let's get into the Meta stuff now. So
bro, look, check this out. Like this makes no sense. I can log into this account, but it won't load. Like,
this is the type of stuff that
like
happens.
how does this?
This is why Meta sucks.
Like, how does that make sense?
So that was his original account, but for some reason it won't work.
And like, this is what's even hilarious.
I'm having issues with my personal Facebook. I even got Meta verified for my personal Facebook. Contacted
What makes
them,
no sense is I can access it from my other account.
Like, you can look at the page.
Like,
you can't...
Like,
so
I can see the page as a viewer, but I can't control it as the person who owns the account.
It's insane.
It makes zero sense to me, and the best part is I get notifications. So like I'll message people on if someone messages me, I'll get the notification, and so I'll respond saying, "Yo, can you message my other account?" Like
it's almost acting like how TikTok acted when like it was shut down. It's real weird.
Yeah, bro, Meta sucks.
That's so bad. Yeah, so I got verified through Meta for my Facebook because they hit my Rodney Hash account because a couple of weeks ago, right before they just recently announced this, we're not going to ban any more cannabis content. We're not going to restrict the search word for cannabis anymore on Meta. Bullshit. Because they just got done with an insane chain of just going through and hitting accounts with their AI and banning them and disabling them. Like, people who don't even post anything were getting smacked. And it's like, dude, what's going on?
I don't understand it. It makes no sense.
My dog's account got smacked. I've never posted anything gaming.
Biggs has hurt nobody in this world.
He's a good dog. And Meta fucked him.
Bro, Meta is just... I don't know.
I'm going to be posting...
I even messaged Mark Zuckerberg. Like...
He's not as cool as Tom. He'll never be as cool as Tom. For those of you who aren't old enough, that was from MySpace. You might not even be old enough for the MySpace phase.
I was just at the end of it.
Yeah, so MySpace was way cooler. You could have profile music, which I will say Instagram did do that recently. Can you bring my account back online? It's gotten activated for some reason. Yo, Zucky, bro, please. I want to get back in touch with my jiu-jitsu content. And that's another guy who's done jiu-jitsu recently is Zuckerberg. Now, if only
that's why.
So the craziest part is like when they brought on Dana White, they were supposed to go like back on this whole like censorship campaign, and they were gonna reduce it, but it feels like it's only kind of gotten worse to the point to where honestly, I'm gonna start posting more on X under Rodney Hash on there on this YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, follow. Like, I'm posting on Rodney Hash on my Instagram and 2.0, but, like...
It's not worth it.
It's stressful because I know it's all going to get kicked one day.
Twitter is demonic. I stay off of that. I'd stay off of that app.
So it's the community is weird. I'm just starting to kind of figure it out. Reddit is toxic.
I stay off of Reddit and
Reddit
Twitter.
is so toxic.
I post on Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram.
Reddit's a post and go situation.
Oh,
and
yeah.
do not get involved in
Bro,
politics.
have you ever
on
read
Reddit.
those, like...
Do not get involved in politics on Reddit. Don't do it.
Bro, can we... Okay, I know we've been very doom and gloom this whole episode, but can we talk about what the hell just happened in our, like, with our country the last few days?
Are you talking about how we almost had World War III and just barely diverted it, and then Israel almost started it again?
Yes, like a dumbass. Like, bro, he said ceasefire. Like, stop shooting missiles. Don't. When he was in that yard and he was like, we had an agreement. There would be no missiles firing today. And he was like, what did Israel do?
They
went and blew everything they had on them. He said, so I don't give a fuck what they do.
He said, and I quote, frankly, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That is the best meme. That is going to be the best meme this year.
Trump.
Getting
He's
Trump
so
just,
funny.
Man, like, that's the only thing that I was happy about. Like, having
Biden
back
in this
is
situation
just
would have crumbled.
You wouldn't have seen anything.
Harris would have crumbled.
I don't know.
And what's crazy about this is...
I mean, I'll be honest, Dude, I'm definitely not happy about how Trump handled it, though. Like, bro, he bombed them. Like, he almost started World War III.
Yeah, but Iran's not a threat to us.
No, Iran's not, but they've got treaties and contracts with places like Russia, and if Russia got involved in
Russia
that,
would never. Vladimir has stated before that he will not get into a war as long as Trump is on presidency. Like,
maybe last cycle, this cycle, I don't know. This is just weird.
I think Trump knows what he's doing now, so he don't give a fuck. Because before, he said in the Joe Rogan interview, before, like, they don't tell you anything. They just kind of throw you to the wolves. So, like, now that he got reelected, he's like, I had everything ready.
To be honest, I'm really hoping that he takes this.
Now, that bill is horrendous.
The Big Beautiful Bill is awful.
It's
that
horrible.
was like the opposite of what Doge was trying to do. That's why him and
it was the complete
Elon
opposite of what he
fallout.
said it was going to be. And, like, I'm not happy with him in that regard, but, like, in a situation like Israel and Iran, I'm grateful he's president because I think he handled it. I agree with the way he handled it.
Where I think he fucked up is I think he believed Netanyahu too much. I think Netanyahu is a piece of shit human being. I think the Jewish people are great. I think the people of Israel are great. But I think Netanyahu and his Goonies are about as bad as, like, the quote, deep state of the U.S. I think the Mossad is just as terrible as the CIA, but they're only focused on their interests. The U.S. is focused on trying to use the Mossad's resources, but the problem is if you listen to Tulsi Gabbard said there was no, like, potential that they were having a nuke. Like, yes, they were starting to do the uranium enrichment thing, and that wasn't great, but we don't have...
You're talking about Iran or Israel?
Iran.
Well,
Like,
Iran has a treaty that they're not allowed to have a nuke.
Yes, which is why they're working on nuclear energy, but then they were allegedly, like, ramping up their uranium enrichment to 66%. For citizen use, like, for energy uses, they didn't need anything more than, like, 3 or 5 or 7 or something like that. So that was where things were like, yeah, that's kind of concerning. But there's a whole bunch of nuances within that, too. The reality is like, Tulsi Gabbard was saying the resources that we have from the CIA and the NSA and all the other, like, in the intelligence agencies that we have, they were saying that we don't think that they're doing a nuke. We don't think that they're working on weapons. But the Mossad and Israel was telling them, yes, they do. They do. But there's also the 7 wars in 7 years plan that the only one left from that for the regime change wars for that thing is Iran.
I think Iran may have been using it for nuclear energy, but I think they were secretly building a nuke. My thing is like, the amount of money we spend on a defense budget in this country is, like, insane. Like, so, like, that's why I agree with the way Trump handled it, because it's like, it was calculated strikes, no one died, he blew up their nuclear facilities, and that was that. And
I'm glad how it ended in a result, but I also don't really trust.
But did you
Israel
see that
to follow
video
that
of, like,
agreement.
Iran trying to retaliate against us, and then we shoot it where only one
Iran,
missile landed and it didn't even hit?
But Iran also told us that they were doing that. Or you're talking about the thing at
No, on the base
Qatar?
of Qatar.
Qatar,
Whatever.
Qatar.
Whatever.
So Iran, as much as like our media tries to portray them as villains and demons and they hate us for our freedom shit, the reality is they gave us like 24 hours notice that like, yo, like we're about to bomb this area, this is how we're gonna do it, pull all of your troops out of this area. Like and that was after we bombed them.
But even then, like, we didn't pull our troops out. Their missiles, all of the missiles got shot out by our defense budget.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I think Iran is.
My issue is again, like, we're spending all this money on all these other countries' defense when it's like, bro, why are we the police of the world? We don't even, like, we can't even get Chicago
country in the world.
Like, we're not.
No, we're not. You're right. I meant, like,
we're trying to be the world police because we're one of the superpowers of the world.
But exactly.
We don't need to be the world police.
I agree with that.
That's the thing that made Britain fail. That's the thing that made empires fail, is trying to control everything else. And it's like, yo, like, I'm not saying be an isolationist, but like I'm saying, like, do what Washington said. Beware of international treaties. Export more than you import. Beware of political parties. We didn't listen to any of the shit that Washington said when he left office.
No, he didn't. No,
not at all.
And like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think Iran is one of those countries that can grow into a danger. And I think if you give them, for instance, I think if you give them too much leash, they're gonna run.
But if we give them a reason to do it, then yeah. But if we don't give them a reason,
they're not stupid. They know, if they go to war with us, we would blow them out of existence.
When you start looking at history and you look at 9/11,
yeah,
the propaganda that the media was pushing at that time is they hate us for our freedom. If you look, the the Osama bin Laden letter just went viral on TikTok before they eventually pulled that all down too. And the reason that was so big is because everyone was coming to the realization, and this letter had been out on the internet for forever.
It's still out there.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not out there the same way that it was. Like, you can kind of find
you have to dig.
It was on this one specific website that was like a news website for years, and then after the TikTok went viral, they pulled it off that website. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so you gotta dig for it, but
so within it, like, again, the propaganda was they hate us for our freedom. They hate that women aren't in haba or habib, like the headdress. Yes. They hate that, like, people are doing sexual acts out of wedlock. Like, they hate us for our freedom. That was the propaganda at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you look at that letter, it tells you that's not what it was. It was because of the fact that we were being the world police and we were getting involved in everything that we didn't need to be getting involved in. We have bases in places that don't want us to have bases there. Like, it's things like that that make it to where other countries hate us, not for our freedom, but for our overwhelming need.
Because we try to be world police.
Yes.
And and I fully acknowledge that. I don't know. I don't really feel like any other country would want to mess with us. I think the biggest threat is Russia.
I think there's a lot of people that want to mess with us.
I don't think
Russia is as much a concern as. Again, we're totally in political territory away from jiu-jitsu, but that's a podcast, whatever. So I think,
we did go way.
Yeah, I feel like China is more of an issue than Russia is. I feel like Russia gets the propaganda because of the fact of the Cold War and everything like that. Yeah. There's so many people from that era that are still trying to push that stuff, but when you start looking at it, we could very easily stop the Cold War that's still going on in the background, but we kind of choose not to. That's also where I do give Trump credit. Trump actually, if you look at the thing with North Korea, when was the last time before that a president went and walked over that line? A really, really, really long time ago. I'm telling you that much right now.
Speaking of Russia, have you ever heard of that one wrestler?
Which one?
I think Vladimir Kezlov, Bro, he was in the Olympics. He was roided out of his mind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, when you start looking at the Russian documentary or not the Russian documentary, but the documentary on, what did they call it? I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
It was about the steroid usage and how, they got around it.
I think, wasn't it doping in Russia?
It wasn't called that, but it was something along those lines of, what it was doing. It was just some crazy stuff because, the dude wasn't even going for that, and he ended up finding the doctor that did all the stuff, and it just somehow turned into that. But yeah, like they were doping a lot of people. Everyone except for like the figure skaters. But I will also say Russia's also always been known for having really good wrestlers too, because they're more technical.
That is true, but I can't remember this dude's name. I'm gonna have to send it to you when I find it out. But this dude looked insane, dog. Like he looked like Gordon Ryan right now. Because that
By the
boy is
way,
on steroids.
Gordon Ryan totally responded to you. Let's talk about that a little bit.
That was just hilarious. Or I was bored at my house one day, and when I'm bored, I like to do things. Like I'm an ordained minister. I can legally marry people in the state of Ohio. I did that when I was bored at 2 a.m. one time. I just do things when I'm bored, and so Gordon Ryan posted this like before and after picture of himself, and I was like, "Damn!"
You're talking about the one where he looks like he's extremely unhealthy. And
yeah,
then he looks
it's like
he's like got like a 6-pack and like movie star ready type of thing.
I commented, I was like, "Imagine showing up off of a body full of steroids," and he said he was like, "You would know, LOL." And I didn't know, like, you could take that two ways.
He was implying that you were doing steroids, which is really funny because, yet again, you're going from a Make-A-Wish kid to a guy who's, like, spent the last 4 years just lifting and doing jiu-jitsu and, like, healthy eating, dieting.
I definitely think, like, you could take that one of two ways. You could take that the way I chose to take it, just to mess with him. Or you could take it as, like, he's like, oh, you wouldn't know, blah, 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 you're not on, like, you, like, whatever, like, you're...
No, the way he wrote that, I definitely would not
It's
think
the
that
way
the
he
other
said
way.
it made me think that, so I was like, I leaned into it. I was like, bro, I'm a natural athlete at 22. Like, I started talking shit. What's funny is, I doubt he remembers me, but what's funny is I'm taking his seminar in July. His front headlock and guard passing seminar.
I love you, Brian. I love you, Epipen. This is gonna be great. I hope he sees this. I'm gonna clip right here. Yep.
Yeah. I need it. It's gonna help my game so much.
No, Gordon's one of the best, and that's because of the fact of, again...
But he's on steroids in just a minute, bro.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
he's on roids.
But he's still technical. He's still more technical than everyone else, which is why he's able to sell his DVDs, because he'll do something technical. I mean, like, he's the only guy that I know that hands the ref an envelope and says, all right, here's how I'm going to sub this guy, and then actually subs that guy, has the ref open the envelope, and it's that submission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit. Gordon's insane.
Yeah.
I was gonna do that at my next arena grappling match. I was gonna hand him 2 subs.
Gordon's a GOAT, but I would really like to see a match between Gordon and Dante. Dante Leon versus Gordon would be
Gordon
awesome.
would beat him, as much as it pains me to say.
I don't know, man. It would definitely be one of the best matches
Gordon's
to date.
just, he has that steroid strength.
Yeah.
And Dante doesn't, I don't think, takes roids.
No, I don't think Dante's a roider.
I would love to see, though, I would love to see him enter his old weight class in ADCCs. One more run through ADCCs.
Dante or Gordon?
Gordon. I saw Dante at this past ADCCs. And he should make another run for it because, like, homie put on a great performance.
Yeah, Dante's a GOAT.
But Gordon, I would love to see him go through ADCCs one more time. And not just do a super fight. See how you do against the cream of the crop now. Because he
That's
hasn't
true.
done ADCCs in a few
Well,
years.
he's also got the stomach issues, too.
Yeah, but then, like, don't pick and choose opponents that you know you've beaten before. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like,
Trying to
test
be Floyd
yourself.
Mayweather.
Like, so what? Like, test yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm facing purple belts and shit as, like, a shitty blue belt. Like,
I also think Gordon's scared to, like, lose.
he has that he's like John Jones. John Jones did not take the Tom Aspinall fight because he was afraid of his legacy. Gordon Ryan is holding on to the fact that he is the best no-gi grappler in the
and
world.
undefeated at the moment.
And if he loses,
he would no longer be undefeated.
he would no longer be undefeated. And
Was it Nicky Rod that broke his ankle?
Gordon's?
Yeah.
I
There
don't
was
know.
a super fight match that he had with, was it Nicky Ryan?
Recently?
It was a while ago. It was a couple of years ago, but it was like one of those matches where like he very clear with the foot lock, he clearly broke his foot. And Gordon just ate it and kept going.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to lose. He didn't want to subdue it.
But also, you gotta be crazy to have that kind of mindset.
Well, that's... I feel like when you're at that level, when you look at it, it feels like if I lose, this could be my legacy gone. This could be my financials gone. Yeah, it could be a lot. It's very high stakes. That's where, you know, jiu-jitsu and the hobby of it and everything, it's cool, but trying to be at the high level,
it's hard.
It's stressful.
That's why I don't date. Like, I tell girls, I'm like, listen, I was like, I'm obsessed with this. Like, sometimes this is going to come first. I was like, and they're like, why? I was like, because I'm trying to be the best at this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting, like, I'm
doing
trying.
a lot better than you were.
Like, I'm trying to be the best at this. And, like
no one ever was.
Like, I don't take advice for granted. Like, every little bit of advice helps. Like, that's all you got. Like, and it's helped me in other aspects of my life, too. Like, you have to have white belt mentality in anything that you do. Anything. Yeah. You have to have a white belt mentality.
As in, when you say that, you mean...
Go in with a beginner.
Not go spaz out and everything, but understand that you're new at a thing.
Yeah, like, understand you're new at it. Be patient with yourself. Like,
you can do anything you say.
Like, I got my ass kicked.
You just have to take your time.
Like, I would kick my ass if you put the dude that started this in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd whoop him. And, like, I don't shoot double legs, but, like, I would blast double the hell out of that kid.
Yeah, you blast double that Make-A-Wish kid?
I would... No. Now, I had a funny thought. Before we get out of here, I had a very funny realization at work yesterday.
What's that?
Everybody that faces me in jiu-jitsu either gets beat up by a Make-A-Wish kid, so you just suck, or you bully and you beat up a Make-A-Wish kid, so you're a douchebag. So, like, it's a lose-lose situation with me. And I'm going to start whispering in the start of my matches and be like, you know I'm a Make-A-Wish kid, right?
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's not how you... That's not the advice that I gave him. I didn't give him
He actually did tell me that.
I said he should position himself as, put it in your bio.
He told me straight up to, like, I'm a Make-A-Wish kid.
And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Check it out. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Give Epipen a follow. Epijitsu _. And what was your TikTok again?
Just Epijitsu.
Epijitsu?
Yeah.
Before that gets banned too. So.
I hope not, bro.
I
might just call it at that point.
I feel it. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.